Hey everybody, it's New School, James Vane, and
Old school.
Sherman Ledford. We're coming back with episode 4 of the Quest Athletics and Nutrition podcast. Just going to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that's been going on, some updates on USAPL, and just some future ideas and prospects for, some of the lifters. But I'm going to let Sherman kind of talk a little bit about it, but we just came back with the hardcore. So Sherman.
Guys, I know this has been something that's been kind of a long time coming, but we're trying to do the best we can with what we can do with, and honest to goodness, the virus has got something to do with everything these days. I've got some of my suppliers that are actually got their actual containers back ordered for like 4 months. So it's just one thing after another, and everybody's just dealing with what life is right now. I did reformulate the product just a smidge. I don't want anybody to freak out and go, oh my gosh, did you do something different? Well, only thing I really did was added vitamin D3 to it. So if there was something that, everybody probably, in my, just listen to this, that you probably should be realize that vitamin D3 is something that is very, very critical in your immune system. And with everything that's going on in America and in the world right now, probably a good thing to think about. That being said too, besides that, everything else is the same, still effervescent, still awesome. I did want to kind of go off on a little something and kind of maybe try to educate some people out there. A lot of people on YouTube, which is, running the world right now, it seems like, you get information off YouTube about anything, which is great, but when you start getting information off YouTube about supplements and, nutrition and things like that, do yourself a favor and realize where the information is coming from. Is this guy called Anabolic Dude or Steroid Monger, or, or is the guy in your, vicinity of your sport? Is he a drug-free athlete? Is he in your sport at all? I've done supplement regimens for pro athletes, done them for our college athletes, high school athletes, in multiple sports. So, you have to really kind of take it from the source sometimes. So if you're talking to somebody that's, 6'5" and he's 275 and he's 4% body fat, and he's telling you, oh man, you need to take some Cypionate, you need to take some Anadrol. And it's like, is that what you're trying to do? If you're trying to be a pro bodybuilder, maybe you need to listen to this guy. But if you're trying to be a drug tested athlete, maybe you should really kind of focus on trying to find somebody in your same arena. So I will tell you that. I think there's some things too that we're trying to do with some of the things that we're bringing out here. We've got 3 new products here, and one of them, basically 2 of them, are kind of just a little bit more of a thing where we've had a branch chain before, but we just feel like this one's much better. It's just something that we feel good about, and it being, basically the flavor of it is one of the better things that most people taste about it. So it's microencapsulated, which basically you have a coating over it. So 2 things to know about BCAAs. BCAAs are lighter than water, guys. So they don't mix up worth a damn. One little trick with BCAAs, and James does this, I know, and a lot of other people that I've worked with in the past, whatever reason, BCAAs seem to mix up better than Gatorade. Hey, whatever it is, it's great. So if you want to take some BCAAs, maybe pre-workout or during your workout, maybe just put a little bit of Gatorade in there. You don't have to have a quart of it, but if you got a little bit of Gatorade in there and put that in there and shake it up, it's just going to be something that's probably going to be more accessible in your body with the stuff that's incorporated in the Gatorade. Plus, it's probably going to mix up a little bit better.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to put too much Gatorade because the BCAAs already has like electrolytes in there, and Gatorade has electrolytes. So I think a lot of people make the mistake of trying to make it very sweet by adding a lot of Gatorade. And I think that's where whenever people drink the BCAAs or something like that, and they feel very thirsty throughout their workout. So usually what I do is kind of like a ratio of like 75% water and then 25% Gatorade. So anywhere between like 10 ounces of whatever color Gatorade I want, and then another 40 ounces of water on top of that. So that's usually the stack that I do with differentiated amino acids.
I do like to talk about one other thing specifically. A lot of times I'll have people walk in the pro shop and ask me, what's the best supplement, and I'm looking at them like, okay, what else are you going to ask, or what else are you going to tell me? Because I could sit there and ramble off like so many people do. Oh, here's the best 3 supplements. Here's the best 2. Here's the best 4. Maybe if you come into a supplement place and you ask somebody about some product or something like that, and that person doesn't ask you, what are your goals? I mean, are you, an athlete that really is trying to lose weight and get stronger? Are you an athlete that's trying to really kind of maintain the same weight and get stronger? Or you're trying to really gain a significant amount of weight and get stronger? Because depending on each 3 of those, I would tell them differently. So if you're going in and you're talking to somebody and he's really not, communicating with you what your goals are, or where you're trying to get to physically, or just for your sport, and sometimes depending on what your sport is, because if you're an endurance athlete, if you're a swimmer, and I mean, I'm not going to tell James to take what I would tell a swimmer to take. It's just 2 different kind of athletes. So depending on the athlete, depending on what your goals are, really be conscious about, when you go somewhere, having the communication. And if this person doesn't communicate with you in that way, maybe you should find somebody that will.
Yep. And I think that's really, really crucial, because again, everybody always seems to think like there's a one-trick pony to everything, not realizing that you as an athlete and you as an individual, you're going to take in certain supplements, your training regimen and your recovery, and everything's going to be a little different. So if you're just going to listen to one guy that says this is the best, then that already kind of tells you his credentials are off. Usually the best way for you to figure out what is the best stack is just to find someone similar to you. For example, if Sherman was telling me to take 60 grams of protein and I met him at the gym and I'm only 5'2" versus him being 6'2", 6'3", that might not be the best advice for him to take, for me to take, even though we're kind of doing the same thing. So body type kind of matters a little bit. Training type kind of matters a little bit. Even getting like blood tests, DNA tests, trying to figure out like all the little markers of where your body can go, I think plays a very crucial role in what is the best, because there is no such thing as what is the best. Recovery is very much the same. People always ask me, what is the best way to recover? They always ask, is a massage better? Is a chiropractor better? And it's really all of it. If you want to compete against the best of the best, you have to think about how much more you can do in terms of your recovery, your nutrition, your training, and your whole regimen in order to be the best athlete that you can be, regardless if you're a powerlifter, a swimmer, a track runner, or anything like that. So definitely pay attention. Look at the people that are most similar to you, doing the most similar things to you. Maybe even ethnic background might play a little bit with that. Because again, I burn rice way better than most other people do. I don't gain weight as much as other people do when I eat rice. So that's already like an advantage if you are the type of person that likes to eat rice. So just add that little bit in there.
I think all that stuff is very important. And, we need to, as athletes and as people that are, reaching out and trying to, influencers or mentors or whatever, also your diet, is hypercritical in some of this stuff. And some sports, and specifically even younger athletes, they don't really understand, how critical that is. When somebody comes in my supplement store and asks me, hey, I want to gain some weight, okay. One of the first things I'm going to ask them is, hey, are you eating breakfast? Because, to me personally, I just have seen so many guys come in here and they're just running on empty. It's like, you're going to work out, and they're like, okay, have you had any breakfast? That in itself is something that's really critical. And then also people too, are you trying to gain weight, lose weight, depending on how many carbs, what kind of proteins, things like that. So that's something else that is really important that people kind of miss a lot of times. So.
Yep. So if you're listening to our the Quest podcast, the future of Quest is pretty much all of that. We want to make sure we try to target, an individual from all types of aspects, high quality supplements, good training program, regimen, technique, and even recovery. Some things that Sherman got coming into the gym is going to help you not only train better, recover better, but also just kind of the knowledge base that we set from Quest for athletes and Quest athletes is going to be something that we're going to work on. And is there anything that you want to mention, Sherman, about the future of Quest?
I just wanted to kind of touch base on supplements a little bit more. Back in the day, we had a significant wider range of products and stuff like that, and we're kind of working our way back towards that. Some of the stuff is just kind of based on, being able to get one step at a time and trying to focus on one product and getting it perfected in my mind. It's just like, I think a lot of people, I'll mention Dan Austin, 10-time IPF world champion. This is his favorite product. I mean, I've got athletes that call me all around the country and ask me for this product. And I'll say, how'd you hear about us? Well, Dan Austin was my coach. Dan Austin was my coach. I mean, I don't know how many times I've heard that. So when you kind of take it from a source like that, you can kind of know, based on Dan's career, he's been a strength coach for 30, 40 years. He's just been somebody that's been a higher level power lifter than we can all hardly even grasp in our mind. So, there's people out there that really, really respond well to this. It's the best selling product for the ladies specifically because it really doesn't put any added body weight on you. It's just more for recovery and stuff. So helps you really, really kind of get as much out of a product you can. The harder you work, the better it works. So, and we're going to strive towards over the next few months, bringing out a few more products or reformulating a few little things, because as time goes, you find out things that are synergistic, like the D3 is in this product that we've added, that's going to make something even better. So we're just trying to, tweak a few things and just trying to get things better for you.
Yep. And if you're interested in any of these products, you can find these products at Quest-Nutrition&Athletics. Currently, right now, if you buy one of these products, you'll get the next product 10% off. And if you want more information and more discounts in the future, you can also follow Joe Capolino and Alex and the guys at Spicy PL. So you could definitely go check them out. They have a special code that you can follow to get more discount if you're interested in trying all three. So definitely go check out the Spicy PL podcast whenever you get a chance and see what they can do and what we can do for you. On top of supplements, I just also want to add, we also sell other type of equipments just in case you think it's only supplements. We got some of our products here on the table. I know people are selling dumbbells or weights now for $3, $4, maybe even $5 a pound. So if you're in the area, or if you can come to Duluth, Georgia and pick up some weights, Sherman has a lot of dumbbells, kettlebells, and things like that for very, very good price. Just come check us out here, supplement wise, equipment wise. Check everything on our website and see what we can do for you overall. Anything you want to add with that, Sherman?
Just feel like we've got some, specialty products that we've had. And then also I've been an Enzer dealer for many, many years. So we sell a lot of Enzer products, have for decades. We do a lot. I was probably the third person in America to carry these AR bands, we call them, assistance resistance bands. We've had these for almost 2 decades now. So it's something that's, been prevalent in a lot of strength training for assistance and resistance. So we have those, try to keep them in stock for you guys. So just trying to do what we can for you to make you a better athlete.
All right. So with that said, we're going to kind of move on just a little bit with some of the recent updates with USAPL and some of the things that's going on with that. Sherman?
I think that, time goes on, and, things are cyclical sometimes, stuff like that. So, the IPF is just kind of, put some ultimatums out there that are unrealistic for, with a philosophy of what USAPL was and ADFPA was, many, many years ago. So trying to go, in a direction of, which way's the best, is it something that, they want to keep doing, or trying to go away from the drug testing that that USAPL has stood on for decades. You know, it's just not probably something that we might see, you know, kind of fall apart here in the near future. And if that does happen, I think there's an advantage. You know, there's always disadvantages and advantages for everything. Now, one of the things that I feel like personally, you know, the IPF has really pushed a lot of things on us because they have this Olympic dream. Well, strength sport, another strength sport in the Olympics is a dream. It's a fallacy. It's probably never going to happen because they'd rather you sit there and watch 3-on-3 basketball that you've never seen in your life ever, except maybe, you know, in a playground or something in the Olympics instead of powerlifting. It's just going to be like that. No, I like basketball. Hell yeah. But I mean, you know, different sports, and just every time we have an Olympics, you see a different sport. And, you know, it's not really going away from sports that are, you know, tainted, I guess you could say, with steroids and stuff. And that's just something that we have to live with. And since the IPF is going in a different direction, it seems like they're going away from that Olympic kind of dream, in my opinion, if they're not really going to be stringent on drug testing like the USAPL has been for decades. That said, I think there's an advantage. Sometimes USAPL could do some things with, you know, they could have different kind of formations of regions and stuff like that, and have regional championships and make those something that grow into, you know, a really big part of the sport, where you've got, you know, people that are regional champions, and then the regional champions come and have the open championship. And one of the things that I feel like that really needs to be looked at is going back to the old weight classes. The old weight classes are what were done 50 years ago, you know, 114, 123, 132, 148, 165, 181, 198, 220, 242, 275. And in my opinion, they ought to have a 319. And that in itself is just something that, you know, why are we trying to do something different to appease the IPF or try to be better looked at in an Olympic standard or something like that with less weight classes, which I thought was just, you know, in my opinion, I thought it was not good to start with. You know, I didn't have an appreciation for it. You really kind of took some weight classes out and took some of the smaller people totally out of the sport. I mean, I remember Irvin Gaynor. He's one of the best lifters, you know, of his generation as a 114, and maybe the best 114 in American history, probably him and Chucky Dunbar. That being said, it was like Irvin was, you know, the kind of guy that was just, he's not a big guy. He's not one of these guys that's going to bulk up or anything like that. And 114 was a great class for him. And then, you know, they did away with that. And it was like, that was disappointing for him. It was disappointing for a lot of guys, you know. And then the next thing you know, the 123 weight class is gone. So you're asking somebody that's 115 to go up 2 weight classes. It's like, you know, come on, you know. And why are we not, let's get on a playing field in America, or the Americas, maybe we should look at it like that, where we have standard weight classes that everybody lifts in. If you're USPA, or if you're WPO, or if you're, you know, different kind of federations, whatever it might be, in NASA or AAU, you know, hey, let's all get in, you know, the same thing, where everybody can be judged on the same field, you know. So, but there are a lot of things that can be done that could make the sport that much, you know, better. And I really feel like being involved in the USAPL and being involved in the North American Powerlifting Federation, Rob Keller, he runs that really proficiently. You know, that's been some of the funnest meets that I've ever gone to. And when we had the Arnold, when I was involved in it, that's the way I would have the meet run, you know. So we would have this side of the world, you know, and basically, probably, in my opinion, the meets that I've been to, I would say going to a world championship and crossing the ocean and all that kind of stuff, the more percentage of me feeling like, and I think the athletes feeling like, about they're going to be competing against people that have been on drugs in their life, or who are on drugs when they can and get off when they can, the percentage of thought of that going across the ocean is probably 50%, where you don't cross the ocean and you're just dealing with North America, South America, it's probably like 5%. So that's a big percentage right there of, hey, this is fun. You know, let's appreciate each other. Let's compete. Let's do it the way we intended to do it in this federation, and let's go forward like that. I just feel like there's a lot of opportunity for the USAPL to, do some really good things and be involved in the sport the way it was meant to, based way back in the ADFTA.
Yep. For me, kind of like what you were saying, one of the things that recently happened this year, if you were at the USAPL Open Nationals, is that they grouped all of the nationals together. Some people really, really like that, where they get to see like equipped lifters, raw lifters, bench onlys, and masters lifters like all come together for, all compete at the same time. But for someone like me who's competing equipped and raw and even classic, it's really rough to do all of those all at the same time. And I guess you can almost say, the fact that the USAPL and IPF, if they don't end up being in the same organization or working together anymore, if nationals is the highest level that we can go and all the competitions are happening all at the same time, it wouldn't be ideal for me to be a raw powerlifter and equipped powerlifter in USAPL. So it almost kind of opens up the gate a little bit for other lifters who want to go and compete into other federations. So I know I've been getting a lot of messages about competing in the USPA, and people are asking me, am I going to get banned or things like that? And the first thing that I would like to say is, I think the reason why we had such an issue competing with other federations was because of the IPF affiliation. So the IPF didn't really have a good relationship with lifters that compete in other federations, because I think they wanted to have a, how would you say it, like
it's
a
more
dictatorship.
Well, and that on too is built based on kind of the Olympic dream again, because competing against an athlete that's been popped or failed a drug test or failed any kind of test, in like the Olympic realm of things and stuff like that in different sports. If you compete against a banned lifter or a banned athlete, it can put you in the threat of being banned yourself. So I think a lot of that actually come from the IPF and then the Olympic kind of dream that, it put extra pressure on athletes and stuff like that. And if the USAPL is not, vested or in with the IPF, I see no reason for those guys to care where you lift. And then guys, powerlifting should be fun. Sometimes, you get down to the nitty gritty and stuff like that. You're competing against yourself. You're trying to better yourself. If you've got somebody that you aspire to be as good as, like James has people that he looks up to, it could be Dan Austin, could be Caleb Williams. It could be a lot of guys, and it's just like New Douglas. He's been doing this for years and years and years and years. And he's got guys that he follows and aspires to be like Wade Hooper and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's just like Cap. He thinks that Brian Siders is the king of the kings, and I kind of go with that mentality too, with what Brian did and the time that he did it and stuff. So if you got that aspiration to, compete against the best and lift against the best, we could all kind of enjoy the lifting and be able to go here and compete if you want to, or there and compete, and not worry about who's there, who's not there, who's in the freaking warm-up rim. I've been at world championships where people are worried about who's in the warm-up rim. It's just like, dude, come on. So, but it can be a lot more enjoyable sport with some of these restrictions taken off, and just make it a fun thing, and let people compete against themselves, compete against their friends, compete against history, and see where you end up at the end of your career.
Yep. And, I just kind of want to add really quick, people in other federations also buy supplements. I'm also a massage therapist. People who compete in other federations also need body work. People in other federations also need weightlifting equipment. So generally, if you want to think of it from that perspective, we're all kind of in the same boat of squatting, benching, and deadlifting. If you want to lift at a different standard through different federations, then by all means, go for that, But for me, I guess it's just very unrealistic to compete raw and equipped nationals both at the same time. And you can literally, if you follow Bonica Brown and like Austin Perkins and some of these guys on, social media, you can tell that those two lifters had the hardest time at nationals because they tried to do raw nationals 2 days before they did equip nationals, and some of them almost bombed out.
Yeah.
Some of them ended up losing due to the fact that you literally opened the door for someone to take over, and you got to remember, this is nationals. Everybody that shows up at nationals has the opportunity to win. And it doesn't matter how good you get. Every competition brings their own demons. Every competition has their own set of standards, different judges, different, carpets, and, different problems that you have to overcome. And if you decide to compete and peak during the same week, all of those little factors is going to be the reason why you don't win in all aspects of what you want to do. So in my case, I just want to compete in USPA anyways. And I know a lot of people always think, guilt by association. I've had plenty of people message me over the years about some of the dumb decisions that I made. But now when people look at it, it's kind of, different, because it's not the federation, it's the individual. So if you know me, James Vang, I've been competing in USAPL for so long. I don't plan to take drugs anytime. So if I do happen to compete in another federation where the drug testing isn't as strict, why does that matter? Because a lot of people like to say that Ed Cohn is one of the best powerlifters ever. He competed in the IPF and popped 3 times. So if you can be a drugged up lifter in the USAPL, why can't you be a drug-free lifter competing in the USPA or the AAPF? Because at the end of the day, it's all about your personal, like what Sherman was saying, about your own personal journey. At the end of the day, you're competing against history. At the end of the day, you're competing against yourself. So if you know that going into another federation allows you to do these things to be a better lifter, and you're okay with that, I don't really see what the issue is. If you're also someone like me who just loves squatting, benching, and deadlifting, then maybe perhaps that might be another avenue for you until USAPL decides to kind of like move it back to where raw nationals and equipped nationals are on opposite ends of every year, since technically we're not going to the IPF anymore, at least from what could happen. So I just want to kind of, let people know powerlifting is powerlifting. We get compared to all kinds of lifters from all different federations here and there. So just remember, at the end of the day, it's you versus you. And if you happen to be good in other federations, then so be it. Because that's where I'm at right now, where I'm just competing against the best of the best. Regardless if you're on steroids or not, like the WPO, I'm coming after y'all. So just be ready for me.
I will say this, and James mentioned a couple of times about how the Nationals were kind of jumped in and jostled up all together this year. Hopefully, when the COVID restrictions and the world gets back to normal, hopefully, soon, that, we can kind of get back to normal and have things the way they should be, and I think that, anybody that is, been involved in sports at all in the last 18 months has seen, what's happened in different fields and stuff like that, be it football, basketball, just the opportunity for people to kind of learn and hopefully see that the world is in a transition right now with what's going on, and hopefully we'll get through this and it'll transition back to what it should be. So,
yep. So anything else you want to talk about?
I do want to say one thing about some supplements that we have over here. James, hand me that hardcore. A lot of companies, and even when you walk in and you talk to somebody at a counter of a supplement shop or something like that, ask them how much you should take, because, I don't think James at 120 pounds should be taking 500 milligrams of caffeine. I just don't think that's a good thing for him. Now, if you're 350 pounds, maybe you can get away with that, So a lot of times, they don't give information and there's a dosage on there, and we try to be dosage sensitive depending on your body weight. Just like this product here shows you how much you should take for your body weight, and the branch chains are like that as well. So, and on the nitrates, we've got it set up to where if you're kind of really conscious about how much caffeine you're getting, it's 1 scoop is 100 milligrams of caffeine. So it's easy to kind of do the math on that, depending on your size, depending on your workout, And please, guys, a pre-workout is based on something for a hard training day. It's not like going and taking pre-workout and get jacked out of your mind to do some biceps. So, you know, just understand that there are things too, and athletes are different, male, female. You know, if a 200-pound lady comes in and she's a power lifter and she wants to lose 20 pounds, or I've got somebody that's coming in, a high school athlete that weighs 165 pounds and he's 6'2" and he's wanting to gain a whole bunch of weight, those are different athletes. They need to take different things. So just be understanding that your dosage and the products should be different depending on the athlete.
Yep. So again, you can find all these products, you know, weightlifting equipment, weights, bands, supplements, all on Quest-Nutrition.com. Again, with all the discounts, check out SpicyPL for a cap stack, which includes all 3 of these for a discount. So go ahead and check out SpicyPL from that. Or you can just buy a hardcore and get 10% off another product off of our website, which is going on currently right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it for now. Keep up to date with Quest Nutrition. We're going to continue to come up with more things, you know, again, lifting tutorials. We got a hook grip tutorial on our YouTube channel. We're going to be adding a lot more stuff, you know, just a lot of little nuances that most people don't think about when they're competing. And we're hopefully going to try to work that into the Quest Wellness Center a little bit more, just to kind of show people all the little things that you can do to be great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So
All we're trying to do here is make people better. So if you're interested in that, let us know and we'll try to help you out.
yes, sir. So see you next time. Awesome. About 35-ish, 30 minutes.
That's fine.
Yep. So if you're looking for a discount for the hardcore and either BCA or nitrous, we have a coupon code that you have to put in at the discount when you're checking out. 2021 SUPP10. Okay. So that's 2021 SUPP10, and you should get 10% off one of the products. Hopefully you like our products. I promise you it's good, because I personally use them for the past 10 years and I haven't been disappointed. It's almost like we rationed some of these, you know, for, you know, when Sherman was out, you know, I was like taking half a scoop to a scoop just to make sure I had it all through my training, because a little bit is better than nothing at all. So definitely get you some.